bunch of the boys were whooping it up in the Malamute Saloon.
Yep.
The kid that handles the music box was hitting a ragtime tune. Back of the bar, in a solo game, sat Dangerous Dan McGrew. And watching his luck was his lie to love, the lady that's known as Lou. When out of the night, which was 50 below, and into the din and the glare, there stumbles a miner, fresh from the cricks, dog dirty, and loaded for bear. He looked like a man with a foot in the grave, hardly the strength of a louse. Yet he tilted a poke of dust in the bar and called for drinks for the house. There's none could place a stranger's face, though we searched ourselves for a clue. We drank his health. The last to drink was Dangerous Dan McGrew. There's men that somehow just grip your eyes and hold them hard like a spell. And such was he. And he seemed to me like a man who lived in hell, with a face most hair and the dreary stare of a dog whose day is done, as he watered the green stuff in his glass. And the drops fell one by one. Then I got to figuring who he was, wondering what he'd do. And I turned my head, and there watching him was a lady that's known as Lou. His eyes went rubbering around the room, and he seemed in a kind of a daze, till the last, that old piano fell in the waves' wandering gaze. The ragtime kid was having a drink. There's no one else in the stool, so the stranger stumbles across the room, flopped down there like a fool. In a buckskin shirt that was glazed with dirt, he sat. I saw him sway, and he clutched the keys in his taloned hands. My God, that man could play. Were you ever out in the great alone, when the moon was awful clear, and the icy mountains hemmed you in with a silence you most could hear, with only the howl of a timber wolf as you camped there in the cold, a half-dead thing in a stark, dead world, clean mad for the muck called gold, while high overhead, green, yellow, and red, the north lights swept in bars. Then you've a hunch what the music meant. Hunger, and night, and the stars. And hunger not of the belly kind that's banished with bacon and beans, but the gnawing hunger of lonely men for a home and all that it means. For a fireside far from the cares that are, four walls and a roof above, but, oh, so crammed full of cozy joy, and crowned with a woman's love, a woman dearer than all the world, and true as heaven is true. God, how ghastly she looks through her rouge, the lady that's known as Lou. Then, on a sudden, the music changed, so soft you scarce could hear, but you felt that your life had been looted clean of all that it once held dear, that someone had stolen the woman you loved, that her love was a devil's lie, that your guts were gone, and the best for you was to crawl away and die. It was the crowning cry of a heart's despair, and it thrilled you through and through. I guess I'll make it a spread, Monsieur, said Dangerous Dan McGrew. The music almost died away, then burst like a pent-up flood, and it seemed to say, repay, repay, and my eyes were blind with blood. The thought came back of an ancient wrong, and it stung like a frozen lash, and the lust awoke to kill, to kill. Then the music stopped with a crash. And the stranger turned, and his eyes, they burned in a most peculiar way. In a buckskin shirt that was glazed with dirt he sat, and I saw him sway. And his lips went in a kind of grin, and he spoke. And his voice was calm. "Boys," says he, "you don't know me. None of you give a damn. But I want a state. And my words are straight, and I'll bet my poke they're true. And one of you is a hound of hell, and that one is Dan McGrew." And I ducked my head, and the lights went out, and 2 guns blazed in the dark, and a woman screamed. The lights came up. 2 men lay stiff and stark. Pitched on his head, pumped full of lead, lay dangerous Dan McGrew. The man from the cricks lay clutched to the breast of the lady that's known as Lou. Well, them's the actual facts of the case, and I guess I ought to know. They say the stranger was crazed with hooch. I'm not denying it, so. I'm not as wise as the lawyer guys, but strictly between us two, the lady that kissed him and pinched his poke was the lady that's known as Lou.